Hello, everyone, and welcome to your August overview for numerology. I'm going to start out by reading the two mantras of 8 and 9 that I've created for you. And there's wonderful things that you can do with these mantras. I have some things coming your way I'm really excited about. But this is the number combination of August, which the entire global community is working with and hopefully leaning into for opportunity across the board of health, relationships, prosperity, success, abundance, recognition, reward. Yeah, okay. The 8 energy is a powerful number, and 8-9 coupling is a hugely powerful number. All right, the mantra that I've written for the 8 is this. 8 energy signifies to me in its emancipated state this. I draw to me coherent energy aligned with the capacity to share generously with others, both tangible and intangible, without depletion, and cultivating a healthy flow of abundance and power, influence in all sectors of life and the lives of those I touch. And I receive this alignment with a wide open and grateful heart. Okay? That's 8 of August, the 8 energy of August. The global year we're moving through is 9. And the 9 mantra, I draw to me again coherent energy that fosters integrity in my thoughts, feelings, actions, and intentions, embodying the change I wish to see in the world with wisdom and unconditional love. And I receive this alignment and attunement with a wide open and grateful heart. This combination is what we are going to talk about for probably 10 minutes here and front load in our lives. And how do you go about doing that? There's tools and tricks that I'm going to give you, I promise. So for the 8 energy, the idea of how we are in relationship with abundance and prosperity, how we are showing up with the idea of being recognized for the gifts that we have to offer, things that we've worked very, very hard for, and when is it my turn, the collaboration with other people, aligning and attuning to this energy of success and prosperity for the good of all, every life you touch, including them, so that you line up with and so that the pipeline comes to you. And you are also really super excited that this is going to touch other people's lives as well. The people that you're in collaboration with, you're in relationship with. This number of 8, everybody gets so excited about it. And guess what happens is what comes to the forefront is what is your relationship with money, stuff, and things. And then by default, what is your relationship with giving back to your community? Because that has nothing to do with money, stuff, and things. That's an intangible asset, right? Tangible is this is a pair of glasses, this is $1. Intangible is your time and your effort and your energy, and how are you giving, right? How are you giving back? How are you giving back with no thought of anything in return? Because it feels better to give than it does to receive. So for all of us, we're in a different place with this idea of abundance, success, prosperity, what's in our bank accounts, and because we live in a world where it's run by asset, right? What are the things that we have, and money, stuff, and things, right? And what do we not have? So that's one big component right there. And this mindset, this mantra that I've laid down for you is helping you work through and reset anything there that might need some tender love, hugs, and snugs on your part, on the inside of you, that you're like, God, I keep bumping up against scarcity mentality, which we're going to talk about the flip side of that, right? So drawing to you coherent energy is lining up with the quantum field, lining up with the energy field, and saying, all right, this is what I'm doing now. So your intentionality behind it is really important. I am doing this for this reason. Understanding what your motivation is pretty much across the board with anything that you're doing. That's the 9 energy. Yeah. So we'll get that in a second, you guys. I promise it's gonna be tight. So if you're running up against anything that's like little, like sticky there, where you're feeling less than, and you're feeling like you just don't think that there's enough for you, you're hoarding of resources, and which can look like I don't have anything to give, right? And I have to fight for what is mine. Just try this out on a daily basis. I draw to me coherent energy aligned with the capacity to share generously with others, both tangible and intangible, without depletion, without the experience and feeling of depletion, and cultivate a healthy flow of abundance and power and influence in all sectors of life, of my life, and the lives of those I touch. Covers everybody, right? Including you. And I receive this alignment with a wide open and grateful heart. So if you got around to memorizing that, and you worked your way towards this realignment, when you just noticed a bump up of kind of closing in and getting tense or tight around buying something because you want to build it and put it into your business, and you get tense or tight, you obviously, we're going to look at our budget, we're going to make sure that there's space, and then what we do is we have to come in here and say, well, am I coming from a place of this, or am I coming from a place of that? And so let me give you the flip side of what the unemancipated 8 is really working through. A restricted mindset that is focused on the belief that resources are limited and must be competed for, often driven by a deep fear and obsession with issues like money, power, control, and recognition. So when we are caught in scarcity mentality, we operate from a fight or flight energy, and that affects the decisions that we make across the board of our life. The glass is half empty, and so we end up hoarding resources, tangible, intangible resources, and manipulate others for our own benefit, regardless of the potential consequences to others. And then ultimately it's going to be to ourselves. So guys, if you're like, you run into something like that, I am a big fan of memorizing mantras, because it's this front-loading action that I am taking on my part to remind my beautiful brain to remember that this is what we're doing now. You are drawing coherent energy that aligns with the capacity to share generously with others without depletion. And you're cultivating a healthy flow of abundance, power, influence, recognition in all sectors of life, including the lives of those that you touch. That's pretty cool. And that you receive it with a wide open and grateful heart, all right? It's the motivation that you're front loading every day with as you move through this 8 energy in August. What's your intentionality? What's your motivation? Now, the 9 frequency that we're moving through, guys, technically this isn't what this, I've already done a video about the global year 9, is drawing coherent energy that is, it fosters integrity in your thoughts and your feelings, your actions, your intentions. Intentionality is huge with the 9 energy, embodying the change that you wish to see in the world. So that means you're walking your talk and you're talking your walk. And in an 8 frequency, it will be through the work that you do. It will be through how you're making your finances, and what kind of resources that you have at your disposal. How are you living your life aligned with walking your talk and talking your walk? And for everybody that's different, but you know what the base of 9 energy is. It's compassion, it's kindness, it's generosity. It's the premise of the God in me sees the God in you. You and I are the same. And as I think about you, I'm thinking about myself. As I treat you, as I'm going to treat you and think of you, and speak of you the way that I wish for other people to think of me, to speak of me, and to reference me, to bring your authenticity to the forefront of everything that you do. And be incredibly thoughtful, guys, of why are you doing what you're doing? What is the motivating factor that's behind it? So we can only process so many of our thoughts every day. We can't really, what do we have? The number of thoughts, I'm thinking about this. It's a ridiculous amount. It's something like 200, and the numbers in the 200s for every minute. We have an inordinate amount of thoughts, and they might be spearheaded from the same source or a couple of different sources, but it's impossible to track those thoughts. Maybe you can grab 1 or 2, and you can quickly get around to saying, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a minute, why am I doing, okay, no, yeah, and change your mind. However, another way to really help you get a front-loaded jump on this pretty amazing month that's going to produce boots on the ground for many of you in the realm of success and prosperity and recognition and reward and abundance, which also can look like incredibly collaborative relationships that are building and they're growing, and it's 2 superpowers that are coming together who have worked diligently at their craft, and they're going to bring it out into the marketplace, right? 8 is a marketplace number as well. Everything about how we are living here and this definition of success, and then how we are taking care of community, and where are our success sourced dollars and assets going to go, that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. You know that is a good place to be philanthropic with your tangible and intangible assets. Okay, the best way to do this is through mantras, and it takes 2.5 seconds, guys. You can print these out. I do this every month for free, and I've been doing this for the last 15 years, longer, but 15 years for free for you, because I am a numerology nut myself, and the power of numbers and the consistency of numbers is just over the top accurate and practical, and gets to boots on the ground here in this thing called my life. My life, what happens in a 24-hour clock period. All right, so I would print out the mantras, print it out, put it on your fridge in your bathroom, and say it out loud. There's such power to twice a day when you wake up in the morning, Before you go to bed at night, let this be the last thing that you're thinking about. And let this be the first thing that you're thinking about. Aligning yourself with coherent energy. Coherent means balanced, wholeness, ordered energy, not fractured, frenetic, scattered. Yeah, right? So, and you speak because that has a lot to do with how the brain is synced up with an idea or a thought. Writing is also a really powerful tool in locking something in. I had the opportunity, I'll tell you a quick story, you guys. I had an opportunity to be with a kiddo about a month ago. She's 10 years old, and how she remembers something that she has to learn in school is she writes it on her hand, and she'll whatever it is for math or whatever, and then she goes like this. She's trying to get it into her brain, and then she'll write and she'll say it out loud, and then she goes like this. It's intentionality. Intentionality is a really big thing that we want to obviously front load throughout our lives while we're pretty much doing anything that we're doing. And but for this month, I just don't want to squirrel too much, kids. For this month, with the intentionality of getting into right relationship with, well, how am I feeling about, am I on the positive expression of abundance, recognition, reward, success, prosperity, community, really, out there in the marketplace with people of like mind and like intentionality. And it's not manipulation, it's not hoarding of resources, it's not working yourself into a bloody pulp and feeling just like you're ground down to a bloody pulp, right? That's depletion, right? So that's without depletion. You're not depleted. Rewiring up here so that you can begin to make different decisions and do different actions down here, boots on the ground. Okay? All right. Yep. When people say, why does this thing keep happening to me? I really am trying hard. Why does this thing keep happening to me? As a seer, that's my full-time job. That's what I do, is that what I usually say to people is, this is an inside job. And how are you feeling and how are you thinking about this little block over here? Why does this thing keep on happening to me? How are you processing that? Like, where is your front loading when it's not happening in your life? What's going on in your head and your thinking and your feeling in your feeling center around it? And get in there and get to work and start to rewire that thread of, I know that that's going to happen again. I know that that's going to happen again. You rewire that? And of course you can. You can begin to think differently about it and feel differently about it. Most importantly, it's like, no, if we said things like the best right thing is happening for me today. I know the best right thing is happening for me today. And we're super proactive about front loading something like, I line myself up with the energy of, I line myself up today with the energy of blank. But it's the intentionality behind it. Well, what are you lining up with? And it will produce fruit. I promise you guys, it's going to produce boots on the ground. So, okay, a couple of things. All of you guys that are following my my monthly directives for the personal years 1 through 9, it's over on 12listen.com. It's the number 12, the word listen.com. That's where I work as an intuitive and a healer and a seer. And I've been with that fabulous group of remarkable people for the last 15 years. Mark Husson is my boss and birth father of this glorious space. So if you need a session with me, you definitely can go over there and get a session. But however, on my bio page, just look up my name. Everything on my bio page having to do with the numerology and these monthly directives is free. And it is always free for you, right? Including the write-up. So if you don't even know what your personal year number is, we all have one. We come in with one, we leave with one. The quick tutorial of how to figure that out is right there as well for you, okay? And then I have a big treat that's coming up for the, because a lot of you know that I'm a mindfulness teacher and I'm a meditator. I meditate and I practice mindfulness, and I'm constantly paying attention to the mental field and what's moving around in my thoughts, which is usually connected to my heart center and my feeling center. And so the way that I developed and moved through my own spiritual process is through mantra work and creating mantras to replace some antiquated, outdated belief systems and information that was moving around in my mental field. All right, so I've been doing that for a long time. With these mantras, I am going to start putting music to them and creating songs, you guys, that are short enough that you can just listen to them and you can get these directives through music, through song. We're a society that connects up with music. And so what a better way to be able to work with your monthly mantra 2-pack in the invitation form rather than the lesson form, right? I'm not going to be making any musical videos about the lesson form of the unemancipated 8 and 9. That would really be, I just had that thought, like I wouldn't dream of doing that. I can't even imagine what that would sound like. My dog died. And let's see, my car got a flat tire. I just, what is that thing with my dog died and then da-da-da-da-da. So anyways, lost my job. No, we want to do the other side. So I'm going to create these, they might be 3 minutes long a piece, or maybe there'll be 2 or 1, but then you could pop on in your car or while you're going to work. You could just listen to these 2 little songs that are the marker and the bogey and the target for the day. That is just another way to lock it in, because what goes on inside of your brain and how we have the ability to partner with the mental field is really astounding. Okay? All right, you guys, that's it for now. If I'm missing anything, hit the subscribe button if you like what's going on here. And when you do that, click all, and then you'll get an update of when I've loaded up a new video here on YouTube. And leave a comment, question here. I'm here. I keep my eyes on my channel fairly regularly. All right. I'm sending love to everyone. And I used to say until next week on my radio shows, because I did this all the time too. You guys, big, big loves, and I will talk to you soon.